Good afternoon, everybody. I was told that we are the last panel, and if you see that not that many people around there, it's not because we are not interesting. Many people has left. Okay, anyway, thank you for attending the Women in Tech, and we're very happy that you are here to share with us the story that we're going to tell later. So first of all, we would like to introduce that this is a hybrid panel. So we have Nasia on the screen.
Hello.
Hi, Nasia. Could you do a quick intro?
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. Hello from very foggy London. Nice to be here with you all. My name is Nasia Skoulikariti. I am the founder and CEO of Apirot Data. Not only, I'm also the VP of IoT for GTC, the Director of IoT for MEF, and the CDO for M Connected. As you can tell, I wear many different hats all around technology. And with that, I'll give it back to you.
Thank you, Nasia. Would you like Aisha to introduce herself?
Yes. Hello, everybody. First of all, it's my pleasure to have all of you in my lovely country, especially for the one who travel all the way to visit Oman. Especially the Middle East GCCM conference is hosted in Oman during the winter season, and I hope you enjoy every single moment while you stay here. I'm Aisha Al-Kharousi, Senior Manager, National Accounts and Interconnection under Wholesale Business Unit in Omantel. Today, I'm going to give my keynote speech, and I'm very excited about it.
Thank you, Aisha. Ewa?
Hello. First of all, thank you for having us in beautiful Oman. It's an honor to be on this panel. It's an honor to be a part of this conference. My name is Ewa Jaśkowiak. I'm from Poland. I represent a company called Enexo, and I am lucky enough to be heading the sales and marketing department at the company.
Thank you. Veronica?
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, and thank you for having us. It's been a wonderful experience since yesterday at the beach.
Yes.
The food has been great as well. The people have been lovely. I'm happy that I'm here. And it's also an honor to be on this panel to share my story. My name is Veronica Babayemi. I'm the co-founder and managing director of Telco Managed Services. Before this role, I worked with Airtel Africa in Nigeria and in Tanzania, and I resigned as a vice president just a couple of months ago. It's an honor to be here, and I look forward to a wonderful time with my colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you, Veronica. So my name is Lei Kwan, and I've been in telco for many years, coming to 40 years. Okay, so this is not my first panel for the Women in Tech, and I have been doing some research and then understanding that we have a lot of typical questions we ask the ladies about how is it like to be woman in tech, and there are many questions that we could ask, and we have thought about it, and we discussed, and we think that maybe the best way is for us to talk about a significant event in our career. Yeah, what that event has changed us or not changed us, or what is the impact to the organizations. And it could be an event that we have did something positive, or we have, I'm so sorry, I forgot that you had to do the keynote. Okay, so but we will do the storytelling and the debate after Aisha has made her keynote presentations. Aisha, please.
Thank you, Lohan. As we are here today to discuss the role of women in tech today and tomorrow, and as this topic has been discussed over the years and highlighted various aspects related to the woman in the workplace, I think, as Lohan mentioned, that we are going to re-emphasize some of these aspects, but in a different way in our panel discussion today. So to make my keynote speech different in this time, allow me to give you an overview about the role of women in Omani tech today and tomorrow. Okay. Actually, this slide, it was like, I guess, I want to have some interaction with my audience, but luckily, you got the answer in advance. So, so fine. Actually, as I'm Omani woman, I would like to start from myself by highlighting my simple journey with the technology. As like majority of women with a different demographic backgrounds, I think, I believe that majority of women or some of women, likewise men as well, we began our technology journey, with the computer, where where that time I did not know how to click the mouse when my father acquired first technology device in my life. It is worth to mention actually that this device is one of the factors, who assist us to understand our life, starting from our educational level at schools and universities, and ending up with the daily activities in today's at both professional and a social level, where technology is a part of everything. It is everywhere you can see, whether it is through emails, social media. It is in every part of our life, and we are in most of it. It is worthwhile mentioning that the empowerment and success of women in Omantel is an outcome of a wider national initiative, which is Omani Women's Day. In 2009, the late His Majesty Sultan Qaboos bin Said declared the first decree 17th of October as a Omani Women's Day, where it is the first, Oman become the first in the regions, designating the day and having national occasions to recognize the woman. The occasion, actually, we are celebrating these occasions every year in a different ways, where like holding, appreciations event, launching new initiatives that recognizing the woman in a different sectors and different fields in the country. The recognition actually continues with our great leader, His Majesty Sultan Haytham, and also his spouse, the Honorable Lady, Her Highness Sayyidah Ahad bint Abdullah, where they are reaffirming and valuing the great efforts of women in different sectors in Oman, in establishing and supporting their families, their societies and nations, where they can contribute more and more in different sectors. Sayyidah Ahad bint Abdullah, she also affirmed that women, women is enjoying their needs through the laws and becoming partners for creating, values for the brighter future. Power of women. I would like to highlight about women in wholesale. As you all know, that women form most of the population. However, they contribute the most to the society. In addition to being the truth, women in general at Omantel and in specific in wholesale business unit, being always recognized with their importance in terms of their roles for the success of the organization. One third of the staff in Omantel wholesale actually is women, and 44% of Omantel management team is formed by women. This is one of the highest in the region. These quite remarkable statistics reflecting the fact that wholesale domain is a very niche and women actually is contributing with their success. And I'm very proud to see my female colleague actually, who is occupying a critical role and playing various fronts in the wholesale business and operations. Diversity and inclusion. This is interconnected concept. I strongly believe with this concept, and I'm sure that we as organizations in the world have reached to the level of a maturity we believe on this concept. And instead of going through the, what does it mean and what value it adds to the organization, I would like to reflect about diversity and inclusion in terms of its journey within Omantel. Omantel started with this journey back in 2018. The beginning was through the Women Empowerment We program in collaboration with the Zain group, which is a subsidiary of Omantel. With the journey of this We program, actually, Omantel been witnessing the successful stories of women, where women actually plays various roles in the leaderships, in the management, as well as in functional responsibilities. Sorry. So because I need to rush my keynote speech, as I'm end of my keynote speech, I really want to thank every woman and every man who worked so hard over the years to contribute together to make the concept diversity of inclusion success over all organizations. And at the end, I would like also to thank my parents for letting me know that just because being a woman is not, that I cannot do something. That's not true. I can do anything. You can do everything as far as you are good and ambitious human being. Last but not least, I would like to thank my male and female colleagues who believing on me, working side by side together, supporting each other for the success and for the brighter future. Thank you. Thank you, Aisha.
It's really very inspiring. And I must say that, you are definitely right there that, Oman is leading. Yeah, leading in, having the women as leader. So,
of course. We having a great support from our leaders since a long time, in which the concept of, having the quality of women with men together in my country is actually in a good progress. And we are together working side by side for our brighter future.
Yeah, actually, to see that it's almost 50% men and women in management is very encouraging. Okay, we definitely have come a long way. And of course, there are certain countries like, Oman, you are leading and showing good example. That's really nice to see. Okay, so to continue with the panel, we are going to discuss something significant, okay, that have make an impact, okay, and we would like to share the stories and hope that our leading women here, successful women here, will be able to show what we have done and how we have successful in this tech world. Okay, would you like to start first, Veronica?
Thank you very much, Lee. I think for me, it's been an interesting journey. A bit of mixed feeling in between the journey, but it's mostly very interesting. I think, we can all agree that the challenges facing women in tech is not just women in technology, actually. It's women in leadership across various sectors in the world, including women in leadership, even in politics, in governance, and all that. And so issues of stereotype and generalization, issues of imposter syndrome, issues of institutional sexism, you name it, a whole lot of issues women face. And there are different ways to deal with them. In my own experience, I think I've had to deal with it every step of the way, in my previous organization. But at the end of the day, I'm grateful because I had a very good support system, which has helped me, like Aisha said, which has helped to, continue to push me, encourage me, to make me, to get to where I am today. So it's throughout my journey in telecommunications, I've always been the first and the only female in practically all the roles that I've held. And, at some point, because I more or less break that cliche or something, you find that other women are able to come up eventually, but it hasn't been easy. Even in telecoms, not that I am a tech person, you understand, but even in order to be able to get a leadership role, get a table in that circle has been a major challenge. But I've always persevered. And I think it's a mixture of self-determination, passion, with the support system within the institution, some of the people who believe that this narrative needs to change, as well as support from my home as well, which has helped me to, to this position. So at the end of the day, I think there are a lot of lessons that I've learned along the way. And if it's okay for me to say this, I think a lot of women, when you speak to them, some of the problems that we face in getting ahead in technology or leadership in any sector is the imposter syndrome, where you feel that you do not deserve or you don't have what it takes, to be where your male counterparts are, right? Why? Because of the institutional sexism that has played over time, because of the stereotype and generalization that has played over time. But your ability to be able to to rise up above that feeling of inefficiency, feeling of inadequacy, takes a lot, and it requires a lot of mentorship. It requires a lot of having a strong support system to keep pushing you, to be able to break that barrier and break that that stumbling block that is holding you back. Because we need to understand that to get there, whether it's being in tech or being in leadership, it's not just about competence. It's not about confidence alone. It's not about how macho you are. You understand? But there's a lot to do. It has a lot to do with humility. Has a lot to do with your ability to see yourself in a particular light.
So you mentioned that a lot of time you are the only lady, okay, whether in the meeting, in the management. How was that feeling that you are the only lady? Was it that do you feel threatened? Do you feel that, that, how was the feeling?
Okay, so I think it's two ways. Initially, I felt a little bit threatened, but not the word threatened, intimidated, right? But as time goes on and I was able to build my confidence, right? I was able to sit there and, hold my head high. And the only way I could do that was to be able to prove to them that I wasn't there because I was lucky. I wasn't there because I was privileged. I wasn't there because I was a woman. I was there because I knew what was required to do the job and I could do the job. And then I did the job, so that was what gave me the confidence.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for sharing. Who would like to go next?
I wanted to weigh in on the support system. Like a lot of guys and a lot of women sitting here, and I just want to bring it down because all of you or most of you have daughters, right? A lot of you have daughters in the house, and I think the whole journey of confident women in tech or wherever it is in leadership positions, it comes down to the way we are brought up. So what Veronica mentioned, what Aisha mentioned, having incredible parents who appreciate and encourage and allow us to grow, that's where it all starts. And without the basics of the support systems that we build in our own houses, we will not be able to grow the confident women that we all want our daughters and our sisters and us to be. So I actually have, I've read about a great study about the confidence of women. It was done in a Swiss university, and women and men were asked to give speeches in front of a judging committee to convince the committee to lower the university fees. And they were divided into 3 groups, men, women, equally. The 3 groups were a group that had a blank wall in front of them, a group that had a picture of Bill Clinton, and a picture that had Hillary Clinton or Angela Merkel as a woman leader. And what came out of this study is that when there was a blank wall in front of women and men, men spoke longer and more convincing than women. When there was a picture of a man, this was the same story. But when there was a picture of a woman in front of them, because they felt empowered by the role model that they saw, women spoke as long as the men, and with equally good conviction among the audience. So building on that support system, I think it's equally important that we do these panels, that we have strong women behind us and in front of us, that we can support each other, and that we can show the women entering the industry that they are not alone, that they're not the only women in the room, that they can always look up to someone who's been there, who's done that, and who's given the path to all of us.
Yeah, very good point. And I think that GCCM is brought to us by Vida, Vida, CEO. Okay, she's definitely a very strong leader, and she has shown us the example. Okay, thank you. Would you like to go and tell us, share with us, Nasia?
Absolutely. So great points made both by Eva and Veronica, and I would also like to chime in and support equally that having a good support both in the home, at home and at work, and mentorship are very, very important for any woman's trajectory, any woman's journey through the working environment. Equally, the narrative has to change when we're talking about women in tech, technology, telecommunications, you name it, in any industry for that matter. And we need to look at both women and men working together and achieving together rather than trying to segregate one or the other. My personal journey, in many ways, I've been fortunate also to have very supportive family behind me. I've been in technology and telcos for over 27 years, been the only woman also around the table, the only woman in management, in many cases, the only woman who did not speak a local language while managing a team in a country. So there are times where the imposter syndrome does come in, and that's where having good supporting system and self-esteem come into play. And when I started my own company, Apiro Data, 4 years ago, one of the things that I made sure happened was that my development at the time, all my developers were female. And that was one little bit of support that I could do to support other females. Since then, from 4 years, we equally have men and women now, but to begin with, I was adamant that let's support each other and help each other to grow within the industry as much as we can. And having forums like this and talking about challenges, but also about inspirational stories. What worked, what didn't work, what needs to change, and where do we need to go are very important, that the females, the young kids, the daughters in the homes coming behind us. The same way we find inspiration by the women ahead of us, we need to equally provide inspiration for the younger generation that's coming, that's following us.
Thank you. I think it's quite obvious. I think we are definitely changing, and there is a lot of encouragement in the company, especially your company is amazing. Okay.
It was not easy. I would tell you, as women, we deal not only with a working environment and a job, majority of women also have to take care of the household, take care of the kids, look after the kids. So when you're trying to keep a career and also make a home and make a family, it's a big challenge. And we've seen, especially during the COVID years, the past, 2-3 years, how challenging that has been, where women had to work from home. A lot of us have been working from home well before that, but having the kids day in and day out, all day long, to support that while keeping up the same, I would say, productivity working from home, it was a big challenge. And it brought out a lot of the actors that, so a lot of the quiet or silent biases that the surfaced through that. I'm not saying that men, didn't face equal challenges. It's just highlighted that women, majority of women, and also men as well, we end up doing two things: jobs, career, and home.
Actually, there are a lot of reports saying that during the COVID time, women actually do a lot more.
Yeah.
I actually wonder, if a woman keep demonstrating, this multitasking and able to look after the family and do the job equally good. Okay, I wonder one day would a man be threatened?
I was just going to jump in with, in the 1800s, it was women were allowed to go into university and do everything until they got married, right? When they got married, they weren't allowed to study anymore. So I was just going to say, we've come a long way. Despite the fact that we have to do 2 jobs, I think we should be glad that we can do both of them, right?
Yeah. So, okay. Aisha, you want to share something significant?
Yeah, of course. I'm going to share with you the experience where actually I stand up for myself in the technology industry. Actually, I'm a pure economist. When I joined the telecom industry since 15 years, I had no idea about the world of communication and technology. Frankly speaking, I had no passion for technology. So over the years, at my work in the industry, I realized that one of the main challenges to grow for the success is how to gain a technical knowledge in this industry. And I also felt that this gaining this knowledge is actually is not a difficult thing. Although if we are coming from a different educational qualification. I believe that I felt that one of the main challenge could be actually preventing me to prove myself in this industry is myself. So I worked hard actually to, and today I'm playing a role of a senior manager in the telecom industry at Omantel, where actually I gained my passion and then I also acquired technical knowledge through the example of the role models in our organization, even in the telecom industry. The role model not only to be female, but as well as also I took the role model of my male colleague in order, to tackle any challenges that can be faced by myself in this organization. So today I'm here as a senior manager in this industry where I'm proud of myself and did not reach to this level without support and belief of my both management and my team members. Again, I don't believe that organizations or people perception cannot stop me to grow in anywhere. So that's why I'm saying that it is all about women themselves, actually, although I agree that there are some challenges could be faced in some organizations, but at the same time, it is how women can be smart, to tackle these challenges and to overcome on it, so to grow and prove themselves. So having said that, from my humble story, actually, is lack of women with the passion for technology is main challenge, because we've been discussing this topic over the years where we're saying, there are challenges why women is not, getting equals to the men in the tech industry or telecom industry. But I would say that if you believe in yourself as a woman, you can be, in any roles in this industry. And we can have examples, of us and other our colleagues who's attending this panel discussion. So we need, having said that, also organizations, is changing for the better, for the side of women. So we need also to recognize this, and we need to always, get advantage of the support of our organizations, especially when we are talking about the concept of diversity and inclusion. We are working besides our male colleagues, and we are, supporting in order to gain competitive advantage for our organization. So I would like to say that women, first of all, they have to believe on themselves, to be yourself, and no one can stop you, to go and grow and success in everywhere.
Yeah, confident Aisha speaking here. Very nice, thank you. You want to add something?
Yes, so I think Aisha touched on a very important point, because, when you asked me, how do I feel being the only woman? At some point where I was working, there were 17 men were vice presidents, and there were 2 of us ladies, only 2 of us in the organization. And it was like that across all the various other roles. And, it was painful, because you see, when you're talking about diversity, when you're in a meeting, you're in a boardroom, you want to see different perspectives. Now, it deprived us of that ability to be able to get different perspective, because there were more men, so you can imagine that the discussion would not be balanced, because, rather than have that diversity and a blend and a mix, you're not getting that. But however, what Aisha mentioned is very important, because I took on the role of mentoring women. And one of the challenges that I saw was the fact that a lot of women were holding back because of the family responsibilities. So where there were rules for them to grow, because even my CEO was trying, to make a conscious effort to say, you know what, we need to increase the number of women in leadership. But it was difficult, and that was the question that was thrown at me at all times. Okay, there were rules, but they couldn't leave because, they say, okay, I have 2 children. I can't move from here to another location. I went from Nigeria to Airtel Tanzania to be the sales operations director, leaving my husband, and I went with my children, of course. And, we had to be doing the shuttling and all of that, That was before COVID made everybody realize that you can actually work from home, so you don't even really need to be physically present in those locations anymore. But that was a huge challenge, you understand? But because I was passionate and, I wanted to do the job, I wanted to, I wanted to grow, you understand? Coupled with the support of my husband, because if I didn't have his support, there's no way I would have been able to go. And that's why I am very particular about the support system, both parents to the child, to the female child, as well as even your spouse, understanding and being supportive and being saying, I'm with you. I want you to go ahead and encourage you and, not make life too difficult, because you chose to pursue, your career. So I think the intention of the women, the passion to want to grow, has to also come out. You understand? Perhaps there's a lot more of coaching and mentoring that needs to happen from those who are there, those of us who have been there, to make them realize that, you can find a way to have this discussion with your spouses, with your family, and still be able to balance the 2, especially now that you can even do maybe physically 50% at work and 50%, you can do, virtually.
It's on? Okay. I'll flip the discussion a little bit, because I believe it all comes down to, you've all mentioned it, I'll just rephrase it. It all comes down to the courage that we have, the self-confidence. But to be honest, I always enjoyed being the only woman in the room. And this is because it's very difficult to stand out. It's very difficult to stand out when when you have to stand up and speak your mind, it's very difficult for you to be remembered. But when I looked at it, I said, look, you're the only woman in the room. You will always be remembered, right? So all you have to do is just make sense. They will always remember you, that you were the one, that you were the woman, and she made sense. So that was a point for me.
So being minority become the strength.
I always think we tend to look at the challenges and the barriers, but sometimes we have to flip the reality and say, I am the only woman in the room, and let's make an advantage out of it. I am strong, I am confident, I can speak my mind, and I think this is what we've been saying. It all comes down to the self-confidence, the courage that we start building in the house, that we have the support system, but it's also something that we need to promote in the workplace, that we can speak, we are ready to make mistakes, we are ready to fall on our faces, and we are fine with that.
Okay.
And not waiting 5 minutes to speak our minds or analyze everything, overanalyze our thoughts. Just go out there, get smacked in the face, or whatever it is, but do your thing and then learn as you go.
Do what a man is doing.
Exactly.
Okay. Ladies, thank you. Thank you for sharing all your thoughts and your experiences. Do we have questions from the audience? Would you want to throw some tough question to these tough ladies here?
We're not the only women in the room anymore, so. Eric, what's the question? How is it to be the only man in the room? Almost.
In this. So imagine you have a situation, you need to hire someone. They are same professional, and one of them is the girl and another one is the guy. What would be your decision? Would you consider the girl just to help her? Because back then you also needed a hand to get to telecommunications, or like how would that work for you?
If
I
you
ca- I
want me
can
to
take
answer
this one.
question.
Yeah, please. Yes.
Yeah, we were actually talking about the diversity, inclusion, interconnected concept. This concept is interconnected, but it is not interchangeable. Having said that, we need to be honest and we need to be fair enough as well while we are, selecting the candidates for the job. We need to find, the process of having the equality in terms of the qualifications, the skill set, the knowledge for the job that you are looking for the recruitment. It's not about just like because I'm a woman, I need to just support a woman, to join my team or join the organization. But we need also to, because just supporting the woman because she's woman is not fair at the same time, because woman also, she has to be capable, to prove herself that she's ready for any positions while she's applying for any recruitment. So I would say that we need to be fair. We need to look on the qualifications. We need to look on the skills, because at the end of the story, we are looking for the people who's adding the value for the organization, and for the people actually who are ready to fight for any challenges in the organization. It's not like because I'm a woman, I have to, select a woman, or male person has to select. So I'm against of this concept.
Yeah, I agree. It's based on qualifications and yeah.
Just to add to that, that right there is a problem. It's a big problem. I don't want to be given a role because I'm a woman. I want to be given a role because I merited it, because I have the capability, the capacity to deliver and exceed expectation. So the answer to the question is simply no. It has to be based on who is able to prove that they have what it takes to do the job. We have to move away from that narrative of saying because we want to promote more women in leadership, we want to promote more women in tech, therefore lower the standard. No, we should not lower the standard. We should rather work with women and, encourage them. I had a lot of women in my team, and when there were vacancies at senior level, senior management level. And what I did was rather to coach and mentor them on how to look at the job, what would be required of you, how do you approach it, when these questions are thrown, and do like, a mock interview with them to prepare them. And then I tell them at the end of the day, I say, you know what, you've just got to go there and prove yourself. What's the worst that can happen? You don't get the job, but you go home and you feel good that, you know what, I really gave it to them at that interview.
I will throw in my
In
notes here
addition
as
to
well.
what Veronica,
Go ahead.
just a simple statement. In addition to what Veronica is saying, actually, is that during the interview process and selection process, we should give opportunities for more women actually to participate in the tech industry. But it doesn't mean that we intend to select them, just because of that. As I mentioned, qualifications, skills is very important, for this selection process.
Yeah.
Just on
Nasia?
one note on that from my end as well, I fully agree with what has been said in terms of the hiring process. Women, we do not want to be given a favor, want to be able to prove ourselves and our capabilities. When you're hiring, because I've been in that position where I've both helped and hired only females, but I wasn't comparing them against males at that point. I just made a point to say, okay, I know these young women need to prove themselves in order to succeed in this environment. But when you're running an organization and you're looking at what people you need for that organization, you're looking at capabilities, you're looking at your overall resources, you're looking at the culture, and you try to support both women and men equally to create the best environment for everyone to thrive, not just for women to thrive, but both men and women and everybody else to thrive. So it's not like a simple equation, A plus B equals, C. It is a little bit more involved, and the pride and the self-esteem that comes from when you get something on your own merit, you can't change that. You can't replace that.
It's really important that it is through own merits that the person gets selected. Yeah, thank you for your questions. Any more questions for the ladies here? Okay, I think we are coming almost to the end now, and people want to go home. Okay, is there anything? Yeah.
Gala.
Yeah, there's dinner tonight waiting for us. Okay, thank you for staying with us and listening to us, listening to our stories. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.